What's going on, trading family? So this video, I want to break down to you guys on how to capitalize on swing trades, right? Holding trades a lot longer, especially looking at the markets from an institution, hedge fund, a macro perspective, right? Because that's one of the biggest problems that a lot of traders face is that you're trying to have a swing trade, but you're looking at the markets from a retail trader perspective, right? So hopefully this video does you good, right? If you actually learned something from this, please give me a like and also hit the hype button as well so that YouTube can start sharing this with other traders like yourself. So this is what I really focus on in the private group in our Discord, right? Because this is the type of information that I give every single day in the live calls and working on personal development, right? Because you have to grow as an individual, as your higher self, in order to become the trader that you want to be. Because the amount of money you want to make, you ain't gonna get that at the version you are today, right? That version of you that you're seeing, that life that you always wanted, that's to that next level of yourself, and you have to every single day try to get there, right? So this is what we do in a live call. It's not a signal group. I don't focus on that because signals just don't work. I'll just give you guys a story. I've been doing this for over 10 years trading. And before, when I thought about giving signals to people, I gave a easy entry, take profit, and stop loss. Gave that to multiple people, probably over 50 people. How come when you do that, you get 50, you damn near get 30 to 20 different answers, right? So I won the trade, but how come the next person says, oh, in drawdown, I closed the trade. I didn't let it all the way hit. I closed too early. Or I get break even. I didn't win anything, right? So you had multiple answers. And that's what it came down to me like, damn, like people really have a problem when it comes to their psychology, also when it comes to money. So when it comes to swing trading, one of the biggest problems, right, is you're trying to, like, just give you guys an example, right? You're looking to hold gold buys right here and just bring this long position. So you're looking at a swing position with a stop loss of a scalper. That to me is one of the biggest things that we struggle with, that most people struggle with, right? They're looking to look for you're trying to get 1,000 pips, and then you're like, I want to get this 1,000 pips, but I only want to risk 15 to 20 pips. It's very, very, very unrealistic. Like it doesn't make any sense, right? But this is how most people trade, right? Because you're only thinking about the reward. You're only thinking about the outcome, but you're not thinking about protecting your capital. You're not thinking about where your stop loss should be placed, right? So before you even look at how to look for swing trades, right, you have to understand that breathing room is one of the biggest things that you could do, right? So when you're placing a stop loss, where would your trade be invalid to stop price action from continuously pushing higher, right? So that's what you have to ask yourself. So if you're looking at gold, right, I just put it so you guys could see, like this is not enough, right? Because what could happen if I'm looking for a home run for price to hit here, there's a chance that price could do this, stop you out, right? Quarter consolidate and then rise in the next day or two. And you was right, but the fact that you thought price breaking here meant that this move was invalid, and it's not true. When you place your stop loss, it has to be at a place of interest where your trade would be extremely invalid for price to continue to push higher. Where do you feel that price would hit that would show you're in the wrong direction? That's how you know, right? So this is why in the higher time frames, right? And this is just an example, right? But you need to place your stop loss at an area where your trade would be invalid. So below here, that's where I'll be looking for sells, right? So if price breaks below this area of support, this is where I'll be looking for sells. Okay. So that's how I know the trade is invalid, because mentally, if I look at that price broke here, I'll be more of a seller than a buyer. So that's how you know you're in the wrong side of the trade. And that's how you know that the trade is actually invalid. Right. So second is risk management. What is your risk management like? If you have $1,000 account, right, and you entered right here, and you have a 2 lot, right? This move alone probably is going to be about damn near $500, right? So this move to your stop loss is going to be about 3,000. You're going to blow your account. So the problem isn't the stop loss. The problem is your risk management. Most people place their stop losses based off of how much their whole entire account can manage. So they're like, well, since I can't put my stop loss here because I have $1,000 account, and if price hits here, that's like $3,000. I only got 1,000. I can't do it. So I need to push. They will go, well, I need to push my stop loss right here, because now that's like, all right, I got to put it right here because that's $1,000. That's the wrong way to look at it. When your stop loss is here, right, you have to give yourself the proper lot size to enter a trade so that your account doesn't get blown by one trade, right? So the best way to do it is risk 1% or 2% per trade. So if you have $1,000, like a 0.10, a 0.05, right? When you're trading that way, I understand in the very beginning, you're just like, you don't feel like you're growing because you're focusing on money. So you're like, I want to increase my lot size because I want to make this money now. I want to change my life. But you're not growing discipline. You're not growing patience. So the money is not the problem, right? Because when you start doing it this way, you're training yourself behind the roots. You're not seeing it, but you're building all the skills that you need to be able to handle a bigger lot size, a bigger account. You can't handle that right now because you're over leveraging. You don't even know this part yet. You don't even know how to be patient in the markets, right? You don't even know how to place your proper stop loss. So when you trade this way, sometimes this alone is most traders' biggest fixes, is placing better stop losses and using risk management. You guys are really good at technicals, but if you use the proper psychology when it comes to risk control, that would most likely dictate your success, right? So when you're looking at the markets from this perspective, and just be patient, right? Then you're going to be able to capitalize on these bigger plays, right? And this is just from a technical perspective, right? But that's all that we're looking for from a technical perspective. I would talk about fundamentals after, what to pay attention to. But when you're looking at it from this way, right, you're giving your trade breathing room. So you don't care what's happening and all through here, because you know how much you're going to lose. And if you take that L, it's not going to dictate your account. It's not going to make or break you. Then eventually price would end up going in your favor, right? Because you're given the market's time to develop and go in your direction, right? So that's one of the biggest things that is stopping people from holding trades a lot longer, is their stop loss placement, and then their risk management is off of whack. Okay. So now number 2, right? Just an example, and hopefully you guys understand that part when it comes to stop losses. Place it where your trade would be invalid, and make sure it's over the 1 hour and the 4 hour, right? So now number 2, right? When you're looking at technicals, the best thing is like looking at the higher time frames, right? And this is just gold, but I'll use another example, like look at the dollar or something. So looking at the higher time frames is also a real good example, which is like the daily, the weekly, or the monthly, right? Because when you start approaching like key areas of support and resistance, right? So this is the daily. And as you guys can see, right, set like key areas like this as alerts, right? It is say higher time frame support, higher time frame resistance, right? Because when we start attacking those zones, there is a higher probability that we could see reversals or breakthroughs at those areas. Because now, if you understood that this was a daily time frame support, once we hit this zone, you're looking to see if price is going to start pushing higher, could learn to a bigger trade, or you will see if price is willing to start going lower for a bigger trade. You're going to be able to look at the higher time frames and then start looking to adjust your positions at those zones, right? Because there's tending to be bigger reactions at those areas. Okay. Now we're going to go to the psychology part, well, the fundamental part, right? Because it's more to it than just looking at technicals. Like, yeah, you could also like look at technicals and say like, well, I looked at the support right here and then I just took a buy and then it played out, right? So that's why the higher time frames is very key at major support and major resistance zones. Now, when it comes to understanding fundamentals to look for swing trades, one of the biggest things is identifying, right? And guys, if you're enjoying this so far, right? This is just YouTube. So just imagine what I do every day in the Discord. And then when you get access to the fundamental course, we pay attention. We got economic data. You got news, the news feed right here. You get all the headlines, economic data. You have the live stream here for Reuters, Bloomberg. You get everything. So this is just YouTube. So imagine every day, right? You also get daily focus. You got to focus on which direction economic data goes and et cetera, right? So if you're interested, link is in the bio or just message me on Instagram. But now when it comes to understanding fundamentals, right? This is, you have to understand that the markets do move in cycles and the markets do focus on monetary policy. So when you're looking for those big extension trades, you have to identify first what direction of like what is actually impacting the markets right now. Which direction is the central banks right now? So if we get higher inflation and it's a shock, it's a surprise. And then if the central banks is looking to hike interest rates, that would put out for you to look for longer term positions in that currency going higher, and also for that equity markets to go lower. So example, if we had US CPI today and the data came out extremely high, that will cause a hawkish reaction. That's going to make the US dollar gain strength from a longer term perspective. And then NASDAQ, S&P 500 and US 30 will start pushing lower because now markets is going to start pricing in rate hikes. Markets is going to start pricing in more of a hawkish Fed. So the markets will start pushing the dollar higher. That's how you can start looking for your long-term positions. Now you could add that to your technicals when it comes to the higher time frames, right? Or key levels of market structure. And that's when you start looking for your positions to get in and to hold into those trades, right? So looking at and understanding economic data, knowing that inflation has a very big impact into monetary policy role, or like NFP or unemployment, but depending on how good or bad the numbers are, right? So if the numbers are extremely bad, you could identify that, oh shit, this is recessionary. So when you can identify this is recessionary, right? Okay, this should be bad for the stock market. That could give you longer term positions for sales, right? So there's a cause and then there's an effect. And that's how you can be more strategic and be able to capitalize on bigger moves when you could identify first key areas of support and resistance, like key market structure, and then two, what major new catalysts that could cause big reactions, right? Regarding economic data, news events, right? So that's how you could play out those opportunities, right? So I don't want to make this long for you guys. I hope this is helpful so far, right? One of the biggest things, I think like a huge adjustment is most likely going to be your stop loss placement and just taking trades when you have reasons, right? Big reasons to cause bigger moves in certain directions, right? Because the whole goal is knowing that pair. Like if you know what's causing dollar to rise, if you know what's causing gold to rise, if you know what's causing NASDAQ to push higher, when you're looking for the opposite direction, you just need something opposite to stop that movement from happening, right? So if I know that lower inflation and a dovish Fed is helping the dollar rise, but helping the dollar push lower, but NASDAQ to push higher, the moment we get higher inflation, I know that could push the brakes on that and cause NASDAQ to sell, right? So it's just something as simple as that, right? When it comes to like NASDAQ right now pushing higher, you can see on the top right, it's because the war, we understand the ceasefire is still going on and there's no military action and we have positive earnings for tech, right? Trump is saying things is going well when it comes to talks. Like all of this does support equities to push higher. So when you have a reason behind that, you would trust the direction. And then after that, it just comes down to risk management and your entries, or how you enter trades and where you place your stop losses. All right, guys. So I hope this is helpful. Again, hype the video. And if you want more information, more details, right? More on how to understand fundamentals, trade economic data, this is your opportunity to join a private group, right? And within a month, you could literally be a whole totally different trader.